Good afternoon, my dear students. Welcome to your new class, and I am your Shomi ma'am. Today I am going to begin with a new chapter of your civics. The first chapter, that is power sharing. Okay. Now see students, in this chapter power sharing, you are having two case studies. One is about Sri Lanka and the other one is about Belgium. Okay. So at first we are going to study about the case study of Belgium. Okay. See students, this is the map of Belgium. I think most of you have heard the name of the country Belgium. It is a small country in Europe. The population of Belgium is very less. It is almost half of our state Haryana. Okay, that is little over 1 crore. Now, the ethnic composition of Belgium is a bit complex. Okay, how is it complex? See students, you can see this . So in the map of Belgium children, if you see very carefully, you will find that 59% of the people who lives in the Flemish region are mostly Dutch speaking. This neon green portion, this is the place where the Dutch speaking people used to live. Okay. Now this is known as the Flemish region, and this red area, it comprised of the French speaking people. This red area, it comprised of the French speaking people. Okay. Now this is known as the Wallonia region. What is it known as? It is known as the Wallonia region. And the French speaking people, they comprised of 40% of the country's total population. They comprised of 40% of the country's total population. I am repeating it once again children. This green portion is known as the Flemish region, and the people living in this Flemish region in Belgium were Dutch speaking, and they comprised 59% of the country's total population. Whereas the people living in the Wallonia region, that is in this area marked with red color, okay, these people were mainly French speaking, and they comprised of 40% of the total population of the country, and remaining one were the German speaking. Okay, the remaining 1% of the people were German. Okay, this is you can see this in red and blue color checked portion. Okay, so they comprised of only 1%, and these are basically the German speaking people of Belgium. Okay, so this is the ethnic composition of the whole country. Now, Brussels is the capital of Belgium. In the neon green portion, you can see a small spot with orange color. This is Brussels. Brussels is the capital of Belgium. Okay, now in Belgium, the scenario is entirely different. Previously, what did I tell you? That the Dutch speaking people, they comprised 59% of the population, and the French speaking people, they comprised 40% of the population. But as soon as you go to Brussels, the situation is completely different. Over here, the number of French speaking people are maximum in number, and they comprise almost 80% of the total population of Brussels. Okay, they comprised almost 80% of the total population of Brussels. Okay, whereas the Dutch speaking people, they comprised only 20% of the population of Brussels. What did I tell? I am repeating it once again children, that is the French speaking people, they are a majority in Brussels. They comprise 80% of the population, whereas the Dutch speaking people, they are a minority in Brussels, and they comprise only 20% of the Brussels population. Okay, but if you look into the scenario of the whole country, you will see that the number of Dutch speaking people are maximum in the whole country. They comprise 59% of the total population of Belgium, whereas the French comprised only 40% of the total population of the country, and the German speaking people, they comprised of only 1% of the total population. So this is the ethnic composition of Belgium. Okay. Now see children, in spite of being the majority in the country, and the French were more powerful than the Dutch. The Dutch were more maximum in number in the country. They were majority in the country. But still the French were more powerful than the Dutch. How come they were more powerful? Actually, the French speaking people were minority in number. But in spite of being minority, they were well prosperous and rich. Okay, they were quite rich and prosperous. Because of this reason, the Dutch were ignored for a long duration in Belgium. Okay, they got education and economic development much later. Because of this region, between the year 1950 to 1960, there was a lot of ethnic disturbance within the country. Okay, and the problem or the issue of this ethnic difference grew more problematic towards Brussels. In Brussels, the problem was much acute than the entire nation. Okay, as the French were relatively more prosperous, they were more educated, they were more economically developed. Okay, so they used their power somewhere to suppress the Dutch. And the Dutch, they got their rights, that is of education and of economic development, much later. Okay, so this is the ethnic composition of Belgium, and this is how ethnic composition, differences in the ethnic composition in Belgium, it related to several problems in Belgium. Okay, now I am going to tell you the story of Sri Lanka. So student, this is the map of Sri Lanka. Now see very carefully. Look into the map of Sri Lanka. As you all know that Sri Lanka is a small island country. It is located in the towards the southern part of India. Okay. Now Sri Lanka has a very less population. Its population is around 2 crore. It is quite similar to that of Haryana. Okay. Now, as the other South Asian countries, Sri Lanka also had a very diverse population. Like people came from different community to Sri Lanka. Okay. Now, we are going to study about that diverse composition of Sri Lanka right now. So, first of all, see children, in Sri Lanka, 74% of the people were Buddhist. What did I say? 74% of the people living in Sri Lanka were Buddhist, and they were Sinhala speaking people. Sinhala is a language, and 74% of the people living in Sri Lanka, they spoke in Sinhala language. Okay, and their religion was Buddhist. Is that clear? Now, the Tamils, they comprised of 18% of the total population of the country. The Tamils, they comprised of only 18% of the total population of country. Okay, now among these Tamils also there were certain division. What were the divisions among the Tamils? Among the Tamils, the divisions were Indian Tamil and Sri Lankan Tamil. Okay, now how they were classified into Indian Tamil and Sri Lankan Tamil? See children, the people of Sri Lanka, the Tamils whose forefathers belonged from Sri Lanka itself, they were known as Sri Lankan Tamil. Okay, whereas many Tamils from India, they went to Sri Lanka during the colonial period as a plantation worker. Okay, now those people who went from India to Sri Lanka during the colonial period as a plantation worker, they were known as the Indian Tamils. They were not the natives of Sri Lanka. Okay, they were known as the Indian Tamils. Whereas the the Tamils whose forefather belonged from Sri Lanka, they were known as the Sri Lankan Tamil. Okay, now See children, now if you compare the situation of Belgium as well as Sri Lanka, if we compare it, what do we find? We find that in Belgium, the Dutch speaking people were majority in number. Okay, just because they were educationally not so prosperous, just because economically they were not so prosperous, they were suppressed by the rich and the prosperous French. Okay, in spite of having majority in the whole country, the Dutch were not given their equal right in the society till the year 1960. Okay, and the French, they dominated the society of Belgium. Okay, but just think the case of Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, the number of Sinhala were 74%. They were a large number in majority, whereas the Tamils were only 18%. So what would happen if Sri Lanka, or if the Sinhalas, or if the Sinhalese in Sri Lanka, if they tries to dominate the, the Tamils of Sri Lanka, what would happen if the Tamils are not allowed to get their rights? It may happen that if the Sri Lankan government, they creates a majoritarian government, or if they forms a majoritarian government, then what would happen? The demand of the Tamils would not get highlighted. Okay, so now see children, Sri Lanka, it emerged as an independent country by the year 1948. Exactly 1 year after India got independence, Sri Lanka also emerged as an independent nation. But as soon as Sri Lanka emerged as an independent nation, the majority Sinhalese, they formed the government. Okay, and they started disregarding the rights of the minority. Okay, you can also say that the Sinhalese, they formed a majoritarian government. Okay, what is a majoritarian government? Actually, see children, at first we will study that what is majoritarianism. Majoritarianism is a belief, or it is a practice where the majority community, they get all the rights, okay, and all their demands are being fulfilled, disregarding the rights of the minorities. This is what we know as a majoritarian government or a majoritarianism. Okay, so something like this took place in Sri Lanka during that time, as the Sinhalese, they formed the government. Okay, and in the year 1956 they passed an act, and according to that act, Sinhala was considered as the official language of Sri Lanka, whereas Buddhism was considered as the official religion of Sri Lanka. Okay, not only that, in government jobs, in case of government jobs like holding positions in universities, like getting government jobs, the Sinhalese, they got more preferences than that of your Tamils. Okay, they got more preferences. Okay, whereas the rights, the demands and the position of the Tamils, those were disregarded. Okay, in Sri Lanka. As a result, what happened? The Tamils, they started feeling alienated in their own country, or they started feeling like alien within their own country. Okay. And actually what happened, the Buddhist Sinhala leaders was quite sensitive to their own language and culture. Okay, they felt that the government policies denied equal political, denied them, the Tamils, they felt that the government policies, it denied them equal political line. Not only that, they also felt that somewhere the constitution or the laws that were made during that time in Sri Lanka, those were disregarding the rights of the Tamils. Those were not allowing the Tamils from from getting jobs, and ignored their interest, you can say. Okay, so as a result, what happened, the relationship between the Tamils as well as between the Sinhalas, it grew very bad. Or you can also say that their relationship, it got strained over time. Okay, so what happened? As a result, slowly and gradually, the Sri Lankan Tamils, they started struggling for their rights. They started by the year 1980, they started forming their own political parties, okay, and they started demanding for their separate Tamil LM. Okay, but however that was not accepted in a positive way, and slowly and gradually all this situation in Sri Lanka, it resulted to a civil war. Okay, so today's video will be up to this. Okay, in my next class I will tell you about the method of accommodation in Belgium. Till then, have a great day. Thank you.